6:13. Good Friday morning. What is today? The 15th, right?
It is the 15th.
We have a lot to do here today. We're going to talk about Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders last night. Hillary Clinton, I don't want to say police. I'm not going to say that. But there was maybe someone who might have slipped a little something.
Huh?
Somebody might be coming to town. That's what I'm hearing. So
Santa Claus?
Talk about that. I believe she Oops, I'm giving up. I'm saying too much. I got to stop right now.
Mrs. Claus?
Stop me now, Andrew.
Stop it. No.
Well, if it's Santa Claus, it's Bernie, right?
I'm saying that, yeah, he's in Italy, right? He is going to be in Italy today.
No kidding.
Yeah, I think there's something with the Vatican. He's going to take 24 hours and fly there. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, they were last night battling it out last night, the two of them, and it was nasty. I saw a report on they did this is not scientific, but the report on who won the debate last night between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, and it is like there's about 4,000 people that voted, and it's like overwhelming for Bernie Sanders. Wow. Big. Now, again, not scientific. However, it is what it is. It's a non-scientific little online poll that had about 4,000 people in it. So, interesting. The candidates were all in New York, which is where we were yesterday. All of them were in New York City. And while we did not get anyone yesterday, we have laid the groundwork for today and Monday and Tuesday. So I can tell you that candidate Ronda Rousey will be either on today or Monday on the radio.
That's
Is
awesome.
she running for president?
No.
She should be.
A lot of people would vote for her.
Yeah, I think anybody could hop in right now and there'd be they'd have a real shot on either side, to be honest with you. Anyway, so that we were in New York yesterday at Fox Studios. We'll talk some about that. Very interesting. Got to tour the whole place and the radio division especially. And it was really pretty amazing. A great trip. Got to see Peter Franklin. And, of course, Senator Griffo was down there. And yesterday the governor signed MMA into law. We went to that press conference in Manassas. That was a behind-the-scenes look at Madison Square Garden. That was really one of the coolest parts of the trip. And, by the way, rubbing elbows with the owners of Madison Square Garden, who were the owners of the Rangers, the Knicks, UFC fighters all over the place, including a little elbow rubbing with Ronda Rousey, who, by the way, looked marvelous. Wow.
Has she ever not looked marvelous?
No, it's funny. When I've seen her in the past, I'm like, wow, it looks like a tough woman trying to look feminine.
She's beautiful.
And Christine, yesterday I saw that beautiful look because we saw her right there in person, and not just beautiful, but hot, smoking. Yeah, beautiful. She really was. And I mean, we saw it all there yesterday. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, the MSG, the kind of behind the scenes look, was really cool because I've never been to the Garden before, and that was my first time.
It is really newly remodeled. It's in tip-top shape.
I mean, even the upper-level seats have like 5-6 inches of cushion on the seat in the back, and they're wide seats. And
their seats were so nice, they had Ronda Rousey in them.
You were really affected.
I thought she was unbelievable.
What was it? Entourage, the second Entourage,
she was in
whatever
Entourage,
the movie where they were obsessed with her. One of them.
Rob Esch was down there because the Comets or the Odd is vying for one of those spots, and it will. The UFC is coming to the Odd. When that will happen is so. Esch is down there meeting with the head of the UFC, and I thought there was an amazing moment. I have some photos of it as Rob Esch was having a really, really awesome conversation with Ronda Rousey. And when Esch walked away, he had a big smile on his face. And, here's Rob Esch, who's played in the Olympics, and he played for the Flyers. And I'm like, I hope you use that NHL goalie on her. And he said, no, I didn't do that. And then Griffo came over and said, I already did that for him. So, which is, it was like she was meeting a celebrity. It was kind of cool.
So I was thinking about this yesterday. How can they not give it to Utica when the person who sponsored this bill for so many years is from this area of Utica?
Well, part of the problem is going to be Joe is, yes, the guy that's been fighting for it from here, and Griffo was up on it. Was the governor? It was the head of the UFC. It was Griffo speaking, and it was Joe Morelli, the assemblyman from Rochester. So, who also really played a big role, and the reason for that is because this has been blocked by the Assembly every year. As Griffo said, we did this 7 times in the Senate, and finally we got it done. But it took the oust of Silver and Joe Morelli, who is, by the way, tied to Utica, and had a good conversation with him at the Madison Square Garden. I had no idea we were supposed to do a toast with that champagne. I just kept drinking it.
That's funny. Yeah, it was, that part of it was kind of interesting. I don't know. Do we want to get into that? There was like, they're going to put food out. They're going to put a spread out.
They never did put food out.
Well, there was grapes and cheese.
That's not
was
food.
Interesting,
That's stuff that decorates food tables.
We're going to put some garnish out for you guys.
Yeah. Oh, great. Here comes the kale. That's awesome.
What do you think? This is Utica? It's New York City. That's
they're still paying for those Madison Square Garden renovations, too. So
yeah, I guess.
They got to be
those beautiful
cheap in
seats.
some areas.
But it was, the whole thing was something. And the other deal is later on today, we are going to talk to, while I don't know that we will have Donald Trump today, we will have a member of the family, of the Trump family. So that is coming later on today, possibly Ronda Rousey, and who knows what else. As word, Kasich will be in town later on today at Mohawk Valley Community College. We've been talking about this for a while. There's no way Hillary Clinton is not making her way here. No way that's going to happen. We've been saying it all week long. And for those Democrats that are fans, I don't know how Bernie Sanders, if Hillary Clinton comes, I don't know how Bernie Sanders doesn't make a stop here. Although he is going to be in Italy over the weekend. So there's a lot happening. Wayne is on the line here. Good morning, Wayne. Good morning.
Did you say Barry Sanders is coming?
Barry Sanders, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I went to this, to the basketball, the wheelchair basketball.
Yeah, which we were supposed to be at.
Yeah, that's right, because I was looking forward to seeing you. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I have to tell you, the press conference at Madison Square Garden ran so late, and because everybody was in town yesterday for the both Republicans and Democrats, traffic was like I've never seen it before in New York, and it was at a snail's pace. At one point, on the way to the Garden, we had to get out of the taxi and begin walking because we'd sat in the cab for $6.
Yeah.
And it hadn't moved. It had not moved. We
literally moved the space of one vehicle, and the cab driver, we got all the way up to $6 and literally hadn't moved.
Yeah.
I think I made the comment. I said, it's cost us $6 to move 4 feet.
Yeah.
And the cab driver looks at us and he goes, you guys want to just get out and walk? You're going to be better off because I'm not going anywhere.
He said, do you want to get out and walk? And you can get out and walk and shut up.
Actually, he was very nice.
Exactly the way he said it, though.
He was very nice.
All right, Wayne.
You let my mother down, and when I was there, this was Bill. That was for you. My mother was kind of looking forward to
the wheelchair basketball, and Cooney in town, Benajay.
Yeah, and Benajay hit 10 3-pointers right in a row because in the contest he was in, and him and Cooney both tied. But it was so cool. It was cool.
I wish you could have done that during the NCAA tournament.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool.
Wayne, was Griffo there?
Yes.
Did Griffo make it? Because he
No, I didn't see Griffo.
No, okay. I mean, listen, it was...
The mayor was there and everybody else, and it was just so freaking cool.
We did not get back until almost 7 o'clock by the time we were back. So, and it was just, traffic was rough. So, all right, Wayne, pretty cool. Sorry we missed that. Great event. I love what they do over there, and it was, pretty awesome. So, on the line right now from Fox News Radio is Tanya J. Powers, who we got to meet in person yesterday and had in studio. Good morning, Tanya.
Good morning.
So, last night, the brouhaha was going on in Brooklyn between Hillary and Bernie Sanders, and this was different, right?
Brouhaha, and somebody should have sold T-shirts with that on it.
Yeah.
That's a good marketing idea.
Brouhaha.
Yes. That's what was going on. Bernie took the gloves off, and I don't think that surprised anybody because that's kind of what he had to do to get some momentum going into this contest here in New York.
You know, it was interesting because the rule is if you are an incumbent, you do not do a debate. And why is it that I just have the feel that Hillary is the incumbent here? And she's not, but it just has that feel like there's no way she can win. Bernie Sanders can just keep pelting her, and there's not much she can do. And that's what happened last night, it seemed.
Yeah, he didn't let up on her. There was all the thing about the transcripts of the speeches to the Wall Street banks and stuff like that, and he just kind of hammered her on that until she said, "Well, okay, I'll release mine when everybody else releases theirs." And he's like, "Okay, no problem. I haven't done any of those."
Right.
So, and I mean, not only that, I mean, there were some other things, obviously, but this is kind of what he had to do. He had to take the gloves off, and he did.
Now, is he going to? I might have been hearing from you guys this morning that he is heading to the Vatican.
Right after the debate, he went from here to Rome for a conference at Vatican City on social and economic justice. He said he had been invited to the conference to speak to the conference and admired Pope Francis, and that's why he wanted to go. Now, we understand that he is not getting an audience with Pope Francis, as was previously reported by some outlets, but that he did fly to Rome.
Listen, we're expecting them all to make their way through here. Hillary's got to be making it through here. Sanders, if she does, he probably will. And again, and we've been talking about this all week long, we're just not used to this being relevant, a relevance that New York is not used to.
Yeah, this is an odd thing, and voters, they're very excited here. A lot of them seem to be doing their homework. I mean, this is not just a, I'll go and see which name strikes me when I get there kind of thing. There are a lot of people who've been extremely interested in what's going on. I mean, you've had no shortage of places to hear some of the candidates, maybe not all of them. Some of them have been closed events, things like that. Bernie, though, I mean, you could hear him at Washington Square Park night before last with a huge crowd out there.
Yeah. This is crazy. A few more days of this before our part of it is all over. Christine, a final question.
But that was a great point that Tanya made, was that people are doing their homework. I was talking with somebody in Mississippi yesterday, and they said, "What do you mean all this talk about New York not being relevant? New York is always relevant." So I had to explain why New York is now relevant in this race.
Yeah, they look at us like we're,
we're the jet setters.
We're the ones who make the terrible salsa, right?
Y'all are the ones with the jet setters that make the terrible salsa.
There you go. There you have it.
I can't tell you how many people have, when I said I was moving to New York City, you can imagine the next three words and how they were said from the salsa commercial. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not exactly like that, guys, but all right.
Pretty crazy. Tanya J. Powers, awesome. Thanks so much for coming on this morning. All right, we'll break here and come back. We'll talk a little bit more, and not get into a whole bunch on this trip to New York, but there were a few interesting items through especially yesterday on the way back. So we'll get to all of it. Hold tight. 31 degrees. We'll give you a chance to win our free money question of the day. An unbelievable weekend is on the way with sunshine and temperatures in the lower to mid 60s to lower 70s. Great weather on the way. Full forecast is coming up at WIBX.